All right, so we're going to look at multiples and least common multiples here. Real quick, just the bell ringers, we're going to go over the greatest common factor once again. Remember, you list out the factors. The factors are the numbers that you multiply by another factor to get that number. So all the factors of 36, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, and 36. All the factors of 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, and 60. And you'll see that the greatest common factor between these is 12. Likewise, when you have larger numbers, you use prime factorization. So you're breaking down the number into the prime numbers that if you multiply them all together, you will get that value. So 216 breaks down into 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 equals 216. Likewise, 192, 2 times 2 times 3 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That equals 192. So when you look at what they all share, they both have 3 2's. So 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And then they share 1 3. So then 8 times 3, which equals 24. And so our greatest common factor is 24. Okay, so we want to focus now on multiples. Multiples are different than factors. So factors are what you're multiplying the original by to get its multiple. So multiples for a number are the product of the number times any non-zero whole number. Okay, so multiples of 4 would be 8, because 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3 is 12, 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 5 is 20. So you just take the number and multiply it by each consecutive number. So 2, 3, 4, and 5. And those are the multiples of 4. You're essentially counting by 4 here. Okay, so when we need to find the least common multiple between two numbers, what we're going to do is list out the multiples of both numbers and then look for what is the first one that they share. Okay, so instead of the greatest, now it's the least, the smallest one multiple that two numbers share. And this is going to be useful when we are finding, when adding fractions. All right, so 9 times 1 is 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72, and 81. Okay, so I listed these out. You might not have to go this far. The main thing is, if it's by 5, you know that anything that ends in 5 is a multiple of 5. So we really only need to carry this out to 45, but that's 5 times 9. So this would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So 45 is the least common multiple these two numbers share. Okay, we do the same thing even if there's multiples. So if there's 3, and we want to find the least common multiple of these 3. So we do the same thing, list out the multiples, see which one appears first. So you've got 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64. That would be 72, and then 80. Okay, 12 would be 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72. And then you've got 84, 96, 108, and then 120. Okay, and then the last one, you've got 18, 36. 36 appears in both these, but not in 8. So after 36 would be 48. 8 plus 6 would be 4. Nope, that would be 50. 54, which does appear, oh, only in this one. Okay, next one, plus 18 would be 72. Oops. And so what you'll notice is that 72 does appear in all of them. So 72 is the least common multiple. So let me just write LCM is 45 on this one. And then the LCM here equals 72. Okay, this last one, go ahead and solve on your own, list out the factors, find what the greatest common one that they share is. Okay, the reason for least common multiple is another term that's very similar to least common multiple is least common denominator. So it's the same thing, but it's referring to fractions. The bottom number on a fraction is the denominator. When you add fractions, you need to have a common denominator. So least common multiple, the least common denominator is the least common multiple of the denominator of 2 or more fractions. Okay, so we've got 2/3 and 4/5. We're looking at the least common multiple of 3 and 5. So if you list out, you have 3, 5. This would be 6, 9, 12, 15. And we can stop there because we know 15 is a multiple of 5. So 15 is the least common multiple, or the LCD, least common denominator, equals 15. So the least common denominator, once again, is just the least common multiple of the denominator. So now with this information, what we do, we're going to change the fraction. Remember, it is an equivalent fraction if you multiply both the numerator and denominator by the same number. So we want to make 15 on the bottom for both these. So 3 times what gives us 15? That would be 5. So we're going to multiply those both by 5. What you'll get here is 10/15. Okay, and then likewise here, what you multiply 5 by to get 15 is 3. So then 3 times 4 is 12, and 5 times 3 is 15. Now that we have a common denominator, we would be able to add or subtract these fractions. Okay, so least common denominator is just the least common multiple of the denominator. So go ahead and do the last one on your own. So pause the video, see if you can figure it out, then unpause it and come back to see what the answer is. See if you got the same thing as I did. So 10, 20, 30, and we can stop there because we know 15 and then 30. So we want to adjust these fractions. 10 times 3 is going to give us 30, so we're going to multiply both top and bottom by that. That's going to give us 9/30. And then 15 times 2, so we're going to multiply 4 by 2. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 2 times 15 is 30. So now we have a common denominator. We could either add or subtract the numerators. Okay, so this is the least common multiple. Really, the idea behind it is going to be more used for adding and subtracting fractions.